Hey, what is going on, guys? So today we're taking a look here at the RE100 Zaku II FZ, and it's just kind of cool that it's got like kind of the opposite box art from the Alex, where with the Alex you had like the Zaku kind of over like on the side of the box, and this one you got the little tiny peak of the Alex here on the side of the box. I think the Alex box was framed a lot more nicely. This one framed a bit weird, I feel like, but it's pretty cool. Anyway, I've said many times before, I'm not really a big fan of this particular version of the Zaku II FZ or the Zaku II Kai, whatever you want to call it here. It's not my favorite version of the Zaku by any means. It's probably my least favorite version, to be honest. But I wanted to check out the kit because, as you guys know, I do like the RE100 line, and it does look like a pretty solid kit. So my plan is to basically do like what I did with the Vignagina 2, take a kit that there's definitely some things I don't really like about it and just try to change a few little things, maybe give it a new paint job, and then, you know, just try to make the best out of it. So that's my plan for it, but for now we're just going to handle the unboxing and the review. So as always, a big thank you to SK Gundam Store for making that possible. Do check the link to their site there down below in the video description, as well as the coupon code there, ZakuAurelius10, to save 10% off this or anything else on their website there, so check that out. Let's get around to the other sides of the box here. On the bottom and top, this is just number 13 in the RE100 line. Over here on the side, we've got a bunch about the story. It says there are records that a unit succeeded in heavily damaging the RX-78NT1 Alex. Basically just a little bit about the story there. We've got it in Japanese and English. That's always appreciated. And then over here, just front and back view of the kit. There's a little bit about some of the finer details about the grenades there on the side. Those can be taken off and held in the hand. That's cool. The head, it's got a couple different head options included, which is nice, as well as the movable mono eye, of course, which is what's being pointed out here in this illustration. They've also got some marking stickers there that'll be for that, basically just some Xeon marking stickers, things like that. So you can see it's also got the heat hawk there stashed on the back skirt. Let's head around to the opposite side. We've got a look at our different head options. So you've got the regular head, which that's one of the things that I hate most about this design, is this head that's like squished, like it's been just flattened out like a McDonald's hamburger and just looks bad. But anyway, we've got three versions of that. One just standard one commander type with an antenna, and then this version, that is, what is that? That's the Fritz Helm version. So that's definitely the one that I'm going to be using. It definitely looks the best out of the three, so I'll be using that for my eventual painted version of this. As you can see, we've got some other action poses here. Also, just not a big fan of the machine gun that this version of the Zaku has. Just don't really like the design of that as well. So there's a few things that I'll be talking about, the changes that I want to make to mine eventually, but we'll go over that, I guess, later in a work in progress video. For now, we'll just focus on the unboxing anyway. Just some cool shots there. You can see some of the posability of the kit. And then over here, no list price listed for that, but the list price on this was originally 3,500 yen, the standard list price for RE100 kits. So right off the bat, looks like we are going to have some soft rubber parts there for the hoses. That's unfortunate. And just a whole bunch of red, green, and gray. There's the marking stickers there as well. Let's find our way down to the manual here. So we just got that same box art there on the front and the bottom. Again, some more information here. That's also in Japanese and English there, alongside just another image of the kit front and back. On the back of the guide about the weapons and mechanism here, there's a whole bunch of information about the hand grenades, the heat hawk. There's also the head blade antenna, that's for the commander type, and the type B is the Fritz Helm one there due to their shape. So I guess that's just related to some German helmet. Got a bit down here about the backpack, back up here about the MMP 80-90mm machine gun, and then down here about the shield and shoulder armor there. Unfortunately, while this kit is sporting some nice new features in terms of like the construction of it, it still has a pretty nasty seam line down the center of the shoulder, armor, which is unfortunate. We'll talk about that in the review anyway. Down here you also have our painting guide. That's all in Japanese and English as well. Going in here to the front page, we've got to look at our parts list. Looks like we're going to be using everything except for maybe one little leftover part there from one of the D runners, and that's pretty much it. One interesting thing about this kit is that it's not using any polycaps, so it's the first in the RE100 line to not use the RE100 polycaps, which have been an issue for a lot of the more heavier kits in the past, so that could be a very good thing for this kit. I suppose we'll find out. Anyway, the rest of the manual is just going through the construction until you get around here to the back page, which just shows you how to move the mono eye and how to mount it up onto an action base, and then this last page here, the marking guide, where all the marking stickers are going to go on that. So let's get into the runners. Alright, so here's a closer look at that sticker sheet. First off, we don't have any foil stickers, it's just only this one single sticker decal sheet there, so you can see there's the one for the Mono Eye, and we've got a couple of Xeon logos up there at the top, and it's mostly just kind of generic caution markings for the most part here, mostly white and a few ones there in yellow as well. Alright, then we can just get right into the runners. Here's runner A with some parts on here, including the different head option parts, and it's looking pretty nice. The one thing that I also don't really particularly like about the Zaku II FZ is the color scheme. It's got this really kind of like pukey pea green sort of color green for it. It's not really the most attractive, but I will say this is really cool to see. The part there for the head, for the helmet head anyway, it's just one big solid piece there, and the way that it's molded on here is pretty interesting. So that's nice. We won't have any seam line on that, at least that's good. And then runner B here is just some more armor parts in the lighter green color. We've got 2 of this B runner. Then we've got runner C1, but no C2, strangely enough. But here on the runner, we've just got all of our dark green parts, so like around for the body, the shoulder armor, and the waist sections there where it's all in dark green. We've got all this parts here, and I will say very nice detail on these, as usual with most RE100 kits. Just kidding, here's runner C2. I found it was over there. It's a couple of clear parts here, it looks like for the visor, and I'm guessing for the Mono Eye there as well. The runner D1 here is getting into some of the joint parts and detail parts and things like that here in this light gray color, a little bit purplish tint to this. We've got 2 of the D1 runner, and then only 1 of runner D2 here, so this is just some different parts, where runner's D1 there I think is probably just mostly parts for the arms and legs. Runner D2 here is for some of the parts within like the head and body. Obviously our hand options on there as well, so the parts that we don't need mirrors of. The runner E1 here is in this dark navy color for some parts for the backpack, parts for the feet, parts for the machine gun, and a couple parts there for the weapon, the heat hawk on there as well. And then we've got runner E2, which is a copy of this section of the runner down here for the feet. Runner F1 here is going to be all of our red parts, the cockpit hatch, as well as all the little verniers and things like that that are molded in red, the grenades on there I suppose as well. And then we do also have a runner F2 for a copy of this half of the runner here of some more of those red parts. And finally in this mustardy yellow color we've got this limp G runner here, which is the parts for the hoses for this. Really not a fan of this soft rubber, as you guys know when we get this on kits, but that's what we've got on this, and it looks like, at least in this case, oh, I don't know, the mold lines are not very good on that. What was the kit that we saw most recently that had this softer plastic on it? But the mold lines on it weren't all that bad, so that was nice. But on this one, it looks like they are back to sort of similar like the Master Grade Gyaradoga, where the mold lines on it are pretty unsightly, so that's unfortunate. So that is pretty much going to be it here for the Zaku II FZ or the Zaku II Kai, and yeah, I should make it very clear, I'm expressing a lot of my own personal opinions about this design that I know are not positive, but that shouldn't make you guys think one way or the other about the actual kit itself. It's just my own personal opinion. The kit itself, I will admit, does look very good, except for, as I mentioned, the seam line on the shoulder is disappointing, but a lot of the rest of the kit does look pretty good at first glance, but of course we'll take a full look there in the review coming up next for you guys. Of course, if you do have any other further questions or comments, feel free to leave those down below. What do you guys think of the kit? How does it look so far? I'm anxious to see how it's going to come together, so I'll see you guys in the review. Have a great one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.